What's up, y'all? It's your girl Misha from A Moment with Misha, and I am so honored to have this beautiful young lady, Brittany from WeTV's Love After Lockup. Thank you so much for just being on here and taking this time to be on my little itty bitty show.
Girl, you are so welcome.
Thank you so much. I know the season finale was tonight. It's a lot to unpack.
Yes, it was a lot. 2 hours.
Yes, it was 2 hours. So before we get into the season finale, let's start from like the whole beginning. So like, how did you like know about the process? Like, how did you know about the show? How did you get into the interview process?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I used to watch the show like from season one here and there. It is a guilty pleasure. Like, you just kind of watch it. And at the end of the show, it'll say, like, if you're dating an inmate or somebody, email this. Well, for a couple of years, I've never dated an inmate. But whenever Ray and I started talking, I was watching, the show was on. And I watched it, I saw it, and I was like, hey, this is a really good opportunity. Like, how about have your man come out of prison with a job? So for it to make sense to me, I was like, okay, let's try to go for the show.
Okay. So you emailed them. Was it like an immediate response, or like did it take some time?
So I sent them an email and I put my social media. I sent pictures of Ray separately, me separately, because at the time when I sent the email, I hadn't met Ray in person at that moment. So they responded to me in 20 minutes.
Oh wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So when you did it, were you already talking to Ray, or was it like an afterthought, like, oh, I'll tell him later, let's just see where this goes?
Yes, I was already talking to him, and we do have a mutual friend, and I just kind of thought, like, even if Ray and I don't get serious, because at that moment we were just talking, we were kind of friends. I was like, why don't we just kind of, I'm a very business minded person. I was like, this could be cool. Let's see what happens with it. Mm-hmm. And so he really didn't think much of it. I did tell him about it. I was like, I wrote into this show. He'd never heard of the show. Mm. So he had to, like, go on his little cell phone and look it up and figure out stuff. But he was like, okay, I'm down. So I sent the email.
Okay. So was he excited to get on? Like so let me back up. So once they sent you back the email, was it like, okay, well, let's get on Zoom? Like, what was the process after that?
So when they sent the email, it wasn't immediately a Zoom. So when they responded back, it was like phone calls, background checks, even phone calls to him. They were like, we'll send him some money on his books, whatever he needs to make these phone calls. And then they started doing Zoom with me and my friends and my family. So it was kind of like an interview process.
Right.
So it was really interesting too, because a lot of my friends, they didn't know much about it. So that's how they naturally were in the Zoom. Like, what are we talking about? Like, what is this? My sister was on the Zoom interview and she was like, who is Ray? So I think they thought that was like great. Like,
right.
Okay, this girl isn't lying.
Right. Okay. So after then they did the interview, the family, when did you like get the, like, okay, you're going to be on the show, we're bringing a camera crew, and how did that go from after the interview process?
So after the interview process, it was maybe like couple of weeks or a month. I heard like, okay, welcome to the WeTV family, Sharp Entertainment family. And I think the process was actually finding out, because you'll have inmates in prison that may write or correspond with people and not tell them their true release date. So they had to go dig and make sure, okay, is he going to be out soon, like she's saying? Is this true? When can we predict his release date? So once all of that was checked off, we were good. We were on.
Okay. So what attracted you to Ray? So I know you said, like, you had a mutual friend. So were you a little skeptical at first? Like, I don't know if I should do this.
Yes, absolutely. Like, before I started even corresponding with Ray, I was single, maybe going on like 4 or 5 years, just doing my thing, getting into my house, working jobs, just completely focused on myself. And so with him, he had like nothing but time really. So it was just like, sorry. He always likes to say hi.
Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? You doing good?
Oh, y'all live.
Yes.
Thank you for blessing my little itty bitty show.
Y'all live. How many views y'all got?
No, we're
Right.
not live yet. We're not live yet. We're just recording. We're not live yet.
Oh, okay.
We're not live yet.
That's good. That's good, man.
He
I
said,
had to come crash out.
absolutely. Absolutely. You have such a beautiful young lady next to you. Y'all my favorite couple.
Right. Hey, we're gonna start our own little podcast soon.
Go away.
You should. Wait, what did he say? He said he's gonna start his own podcast? Y'all should.
Yeah.
Y'all should. Like, y'all so relatable. Like, that's why I
Can
reached
you?
out to you. Y'all so relatable.
Let me go. Okay, go. Go. You're not even in the camera.
All right. I'm going. I'll get to it.
Oh, I don't even know what I was saying afterwards.
Yes. So we were talking about what like made me attracted to him. It was just really I had time. I was just really working, and he messaged me on Facebook, just like, "Hey, how you doing?" The pressures of dating is like you gotta, you're single, you're dating. You gotta get up, get dressed, get ready to go to this restaurant, this club, do this. I did all that. I just didn't have like so much time for it. But Ray's approach was different. It was consistent. It was very persistent. And of course, we can always say like men in prison have nothing but time.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not even going to be like, oh, I was special, but it worked for us, and we really got to know each other on an intellectual level, and it was good.
It was well, that's good. When I tell you, like, I love After Lockup. Like you said, I've been watching it from like the first season. It was
Okay.
so good. So I have a family member in prison, and all he tells me is like, I want you to get me on Love After Lockup. I'm like, you got to figure that out yourself. You got to have a love first. Do you get along with any other couples? Like, do you guys talk at all?
Absolutely. Like Deontay and Rachel are coming to Houston within like the next month.
Okay.
We have our own little group chat. Even Stan is in there.
Okay.
Yeah. This season, we're all pretty close knit.
Okay.
Like we have to support each other because none of us have ever been on TV or been exposed. Like you're opening your life into the world and everybody's opinions. And sometimes it's harsh. We have our moments, and it's kind of cool to have that group to just be like, did y'all see that meme they made when they made me Shrek and they made Ray be the baby Shrek? And I was just like, damn. Like, I mean, I was just like, that's so mean, but then whenever I go to the group, because they're going through it too, we can all sit back and laugh at it and be like, hey, it's not just you. Like, this is how social media works. There's a lot of bullies out there.
Definitely. And that was my next question was going to be, do you feel like it's more good or do you feel like it's more negative?
Every time I feel like it's more negative, people check me. I don't read comments anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't read the comments. I really socialize with people who connect with me one-on-one, and they're positive and uplifting. But every time I like mention something about negative, people are like, no, if you go in this blog, they're not saying that, or this blog. It's just too much to keep up with. And I think the negative stands out more than the positive, unfortunately. So you have to train your brain to be like, respond to the positive, not the negative. You always want to defend yourself, but that's not necessary. Like, let people think, because if they're talking about you negative, even if you change, if I changed my wig, if I changed my nose, if I changed any of the stuff people tease me about, they're going to find something else to talk about.
Right.
So you can't live your life like that. Just be yourself and focus on the people who are supportive.
Yeah, like, and I don't know, like, how you guys even deal with it, because I feel like mentally you have to be strong for that. When you step into that world of reality TV and opening up your life, yeah, it may be, entertaining for us, but it's your real life.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, you just have stupid people saying stupid stuff. And I give you guys kudos and props, because I don't know if I would be able to deal with so much stuff, but I pray that it's like more positive than negative, and that you see more positive and negative out of it.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So another question, I don't know if you can answer this or not. If not, we'll edit it out. How was it, like, did you have to tell your job at all? Like, I'm getting on reality TV, or no?
That's such a good question. So I didn't, because in my HR documents, it doesn't say anything like you cannot become a public figure. But one of my coworkers, it was so funny. I'm pretty cool with her. We have like a very small team at my job. But I did ask her. Oh, sorry, hold on. I think something popped up. I did ask her. I was like, do you know about my new venture? And she's like, yeah, I watch you every Friday. So they know, but we don't talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. They know about it, but we don't. It's kind of like something unspoken.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't want to ask that because I don't want to give it away. Well, I'm not going to give it away. It's not going. I'm going to try not to. You tell me if you can answer it or not.
Okay.
So I did see. I watched all the episodes. I haven't seen the season finale yet, but I did see the episode where Grandma came over.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is your relationship with Grandma now?
Susie, I felt like the last scene with us, we kind of had an understanding a little bit. She doesn't want him hurt. I don't want him judged. We can sum that up as we both love Ray, and we are actually on the same page. So, I mean, as you guys keep watching, y'all will see that evolve. She's wonderful. I love Susie. I mean, we got to get her on an interview with you or something so you can get her perspective. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I mean, it's tricky, because I think her like perspective of me, or her questions were valid. Like,
absolutely.
Okay, like, well, what's going on with you? We don't know you. He mentioned while he was in jail, he can't offer you anything. What do you want from him? So, I mean, I thought that was a good addition to the show, because you don't really see the inmate have such a strong support system as well.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's always been reversed.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, for me, I don't know. Right. I haven't seen all the episodes, but for the scenes that I watch, I've never seen that. So I would have to agree with you.
Right.
Definitely. So let's go back a little bit. So once you guys, you came up with a mutual friend and they introduced you, was there like an immediate click, or was it like, how did you know, like, this is somebody like I really want to talk to and deal with?
Oh, like between Ray and I?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. With Ray and I, it was a lot of conversation. And initially I was like, I'm not going to ever go to the prison and meet you. When we started talking, he maybe had about 10, 11 months on his sentence. So I was like, well, we can just keep talking how we're talking. And then when you get home, we're from the same side of town. We'll meet. We'll meet in person. But, our conversations got a little bit more consistent, and I decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop being scared. I'm gonna go to the prison. So I actually went to the prison, and when he walked out, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I feel like they're put in refrigerators. He was so handsome. He had his Timberlands on. He was so iron, creased. Just, I was like, oh, he's fine. Then he's tall because I'm tall. I think a lot of people don't even really realize how tall I am. I'm 5'10". And
Okay.
so, like, I was just like, oh my Jesus. When I saw how fine he was, it like sealed the deal. I was like, okay, this is off of the whole video chat and stuff. This man is fine. So after that visit, I was like, I came to the prison to visit you. Like, we go together.
Right. Right. I'm not even asking you no more. I'm
we go together. You better clean up anything else you were doing.
Right.
You better delete them females on Facebook. His friend count went from 700 to like 60 real quick. It was just friends and family.
Period.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, we're serious now.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Michelle. We're just taking a break from the podcast just to show you how easy it is to shop Surviving the Mind clothing. So you go up here and you just type survivingthemind.com. You select Surviving the Mind clothing. And guess what? You have access to all of our designs. So we have cute dresses, cute shirts. You can go out with your man and be cute and sexy. You can chill with your girls. You can have a little cute swim day. And guess what? We range from sizes from small to a 5X. It's just that simple. You can click on any one of our items and you can access it just right here. And just because you tuned into this episode, type in the word podcast in the coupon section when you check out, and you can get 5% off. Now back to the show. What was the process like to go in and to visit someone? Like is it, because I've heard so many stories about women going in and seeing their man. They say they make you take off your wig and they make you do this and that. I've heard it all. So
yeah.
So how is that experience?
Mine was actually not as scary as I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. I talked to Susie. She was the first family member that I ever talked to. So Ray initially told her about me, and he was like, tell her how to dress. So I'm not going in there in heels and trying to, impress them. Like, you got to kind of dress down. So Susie told me that it was cool, like kind of cold in the, the room, the sitting area, and to just cover it and they won't bother you.
Is it like a room with a lot of people, or sorry to cut you off, or is it just you and him? Or it's a lot?
It was a room with a bunch of people. Okay. My first visit was on a Sunday, so it wasn't as bad. So it wasn't too many people, but I wore some Air Max tennis shoes. I had on some jeans and a sweatshirt.
Oh, you was ready to fight.
Yeah.
They're fighting clothes.
I had the hair, and then of course I had me some makeup on, and actually I had messed up my hair. I had it custom colored, and it was actually like this bleach blonde. It was so funny because he spotted me. Mm-hmm. I was like, I didn't prepare for that, but whenever you walk through, you just take off your shoes. It's like the airport. Okay. That's exactly how I can describe it. Like, nobody touched me, patted me down. You're supposed to bring only $25, but Miss Sue told me, she was like, just put some extra money in your pocket. They're not gonna check.
Oh, okay.
So I put some extra in there because the vending machines are really expensive.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. Okay. It was easy. It was just like the airport.
Got you. Okay. So I know, like, a lot of people from reality TV say, they don't like how, they portrayed or editing. Do you feel like it was ever a moment where you felt like, that's not really quite how it went? Or you feel like WeTV, portrayed you you and Ray in a great way?
I feel like WeTV and Sharp portrayed us correctly, but it's just so weird how the viewers their perspective of me, is coming off. Because with me watching it, I'm like, no, that's true. No, this is what I gave them. This is what I did. I was very controlled about our storyline, to be honest. Like, people can only film what you give them. So if you're not giving them bullshit and craziness, then this is all they have. And that's what I did. I was like, I want our story to be told this way. And I do, want it to come off a certain way, but people's perception of like I'm ashamed or I'm hiding or you get a lot of that or I'm desperate. It was that kind of had me like, huh? Like, not really.
So you're saying like you felt like WeTV portrayed you right, but how people are perceiving you is wrong?
Right. They're taking it the wrong way. But I get that that's what comes with reality TV. They want some drama. They're trying to figure out drama. Ray and I don't really give too much drama. But I think we're keeping it as real as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really think our story is genuine.
So, girl, now that he out, like, how y'all DMs been? Y'all on TV? I know y'all DMs been popping.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I think Ray is real, like he's really about me. Like he'll show me if I want to see. I mean, I don't really be like, what's your DM looking like? Because I got a whole bunch of mine. He might have a whole bunch in his, but Ray is just really like, you gonna get blocked. Like if you send Ray a DM that's like, hey babe, you sexy, blocked. Like he don't want none of that confusion in his household. Like
absolutely,
he doesn't, he not even gonna hit you with a thank you. You just gonna get blocked. So really DMing us anything besides just positive towards our relationship will get you blocked.
As it should.
Yeah.
As it should. Has any of your old exes tried to come back into play now you on TV? Or any old family members or any old friends tried to come back?
I don't think so.
No.
No, because any like exes I have, it's not like just bad terms.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'd probably be like, oh, hey, that's what's up. She's on TV. So nothing too much like that. He just put the dog in here. Yeah. Nah, we're kind of.
I'm crashing y'all interview.
Come in.
I just had on the 88. I just had on 88. Now I got on 4.
Oh, you lit.
Yeah, I'm for real. I'm for real about the Cowboys.
All right, you lit.
Misha, I'm sorry.
No, he lit. It's fine.
He lit.
He lit. That's what's up. So another question is, how was the the adjustment? Was it like, oh, this was better than I expected?
Oh, it was a big adjustment, and I think people watching, especially that first scene where he's released from the halfway house, you guys have to remember, like, what's very true about us is we've never been together in the free world. Like, we were shy, we were nervous. He doesn't know, like, he knows me over the phone, but he doesn't know me enough to be like, oh, does she want me to rub her back? How can I touch her? How do I approach her? Like, we're sitting there, like, staring at each other, like. So it was a big adjustment. And then on top of that, he was on home confinement. And because of COVID, I was working from home. So we were like trapped together constantly.
Right. What's some advice you would give to someone that's dating an inmate? Like, what's something you would give to someone that's going through this? Or going through this.
Like as the person who's not in prison, the woman or man, you need to take care of yourself first. Whenever I met Ray and we started talking online, I was probably in the best space mentally, financially. I was just thriving. I was healthy. I was good with myself. So don't ever go into a situation talking to somebody who's in prison, trying to kind of uplift yourself or just lean on this person as a companion. Like, that's all I can really say, because you do have to watch yourself. Guys, they're users. I mean, men in prison, they're trying to survive. I think if I was locked up and had some years, and if I had a cell phone, I'd probably have me a few boyfriends. So it's just kind of like, whoever you're talking to, just make sure that you really understand what you're dealing with and what you're doing. Don't, because all they can do is kind of sell you dreams. It's just talk. Like there's no action about it. It's just talk.
Right.
So I really don't recommend it to people, but if you are, that's your choice. I don't know how to advise on that.
What's your advice to someone just starting out on reality TV?
Oh, be ready for the world's opinions. Be ready for people to just kind of tear you down a little bit because they do that. And also accept the people who are nice and genuine to you. And don't read the comments because that's just a rabbit hole. You're just going to go down a rabbit hole. Nothing you can say can change that person's perspective. So just stay out of the comments and just be ready for everybody's opinion. Because we put ourselves out there, so we can't be mad at it.
Right. But I still think you can kind of be mad at it because I think some stuff is just not necessary. Like, I feel like it's one thing for somebody to have an opinion, then it's another for them to just say rude and hateful stuff. Like the memes, of that, like that's unnecessary. Like,
Yeah.
if you go on their page and they look dusty.
They do.
Right.
And most of them do.
9 times out of 10, that's what it is.
And half of them think their hair looks good. I'm like, every day I walk by the mirror, but until you get an HD camera and you're on TV with no filters.
Right.
Because half them pictures is filters, then you don't know what, But the good thing about it is I can reflect, and I can fix that. But you can never fix your hateful spirit until you get yourself together.
Absolutely.
So, so at the end of the day, I just learned, like, don't pay attention to that.
So I see it's a spinoff called, is it Life After Lockup?
Yes.
And you guys are going to be on that one too,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, good. So last question. Kids, marriage?
Absolutely. And that's going to come up on Life. It's really good. I know a lot of people think our storyline may be kind of boring because we are together. We are, but we want to show the other side of it. Ray always said this to me. He was in prison with a lot of men, and a lot of those men were fathers and husbands. And you always hear about the men in prison who are using women or cheating on their woman or not doing what they're supposed to do. But there's a lot of men who just want to do their time, go home to their wives, their families, and their kids, and do the right thing. And so that's what we kind of wanted to come on this show and like show that, like Lamar and Andrea, like Brittany and Marcelino, that there are couples that can thrive.
I love them. Are they coming back?
Yes, Brittany and Marcelino.
And what about Lamar? Like, I love them too.
I don't think they're on this episode of Life, but there's so many of us. They may kind of have them for an upcoming like follow up. But Andrea and Lamar are actually one of my favorites too.
Yeah, they were first, and then you guys are like after.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are after.
I like them.
But y'all close. Y'all only because they've been on there longer. But y'all neck and neck. Y'all neck and neck.
Yes.
Well, I just want to thank you so much again for taking the time out to be on here on my little itty bitty show. And I know you're super busy, and I'm literally about to go and watch the season finale right now, and then I'm going to text you and tell you everything about it. I feel like we're friends. I feel like we're friends now. I'm just playing.
We are. And anytime you want to interview, if you want to get any of us, I got it.
Absolutely. And I'm sending you the link to my line. You tell me anything you want. I'm going to send it to you and hubby, and then we can go from there.
Okay, thank you, Misha.
Thank you
so fun.
much. Have a good night, okay?
You too, boo. Good night.